Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomat YouTube channel, everybody. You got Bert the Hurt here. You've got Lanny the Manny, not Manny Ramirez, but Lanny the Manny over here. And we are going to bring you another dividend increase video on our YouTube channel.
Smash that subscribe button. Give Bert and I a thumbs up as we bring you the next dividend news that happened over the last week in the stock market. There was a lot of dividend increase announcements, a lot of special dividends that continue to happen in the dividend investing community, and we wanted to at least summarize 4 of the big dividend news that has hit the headlines this week.
And that's important because first, to take a step back here, we have noticed a trend over the last month or so, and a very exciting trend nonetheless. In 2020, we were just getting beaten down. We were getting pummeled as companies either suspended their dividends or just passed on increasing their dividends altogether. We were also sick and tired of getting dividend cuts during the pandemic as companies were figuring out their cash flows.
We were just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, when just beaten down, you just get that other kick to the side of your ribs there. But starting in the fourth quarter, things started to turn around.
Dividend stocks came back. Dividends were being reinstated. We had the TJ Maxx reinstatement and dividend increase. We had the Costco special dividend.
We even had a major oil company in Shell increase their dividend after they cut it the first time. Exciting stuff here in the dividend investing community.
So the dividend news doesn't stop there, as the last week of November really came in with some new dividend big hits, even with Black Friday and Thanksgiving having slower to, obviously no trading days in the market with Thanksgiving. So it was nice to see that the dividend news kept coming out for us dividend investors.
So that's why we are here today to talk to you about some of the major increases, because we want to bring them to your attention in case you missed them, and maybe you received a dividend increase that you didn't even know about because it just slipped under the radar on the newswire.
The first dividend stock that we want to talk about that released dividend news that really is important to us is this Dividend Aristocrat. And they really do well during a global pandemic because they're in your cupboards, they're in your fridge. And this company is Hormel, ticker symbol HRL. And Bert, what did Hormel decide to do last week?
They followed through with their plan to increase their dividend every November, and they increased their dividend by a nice 5.36%. Very solid for the company in the packaged food. However, one interesting caveat was this was below their 5-year average dividend growth rate.
I was expecting double digits personally.
Yes, I was too, because they're on the lower end of the dividend yield spectrum. So with low yields, we expect typically a higher dividend growth rate. So the 5.4% increase from Hormel was not the most exciting, but again, it's 2020, so we are still very excited about dividend increases nonetheless.
And Bert is still very excited to eat his Hormel chili and to really dig into those bugles. And
you're going to put some of those pepperonis from Hormel on your pizzas.
That's right. Dip the chips in the cheese salsa.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great company. It's one you want in your portfolio if you can get them at the right stock price, because for what Lanny mentioned earlier, come pandemic time, come stock up when you're getting ready. Their products will last, they're great, and they will continue to produce income for the company over the years.
So again, Hormel keeping that dividend growth streak alive, increasing that income to you as the shareholder. 5+% dividend increase, again, well above the mark of inflation. You gotta accept and love a dividend increase during 2020. It doesn't stop there. Time to go into the second big piece of dividend news that happened last week. Bert, what's that company?
Now, this was a shock for me because I was not expecting this dividend increase at all, because we have a big dividend increase from that company where you just didn't, it was completely off the radar. This company has gone off my radar entirely because I don't purchase their products at all. So we're going to go with technology, we're going to go printers here.
Yeah, we're not talking about your health points, your Pokemon, your HP in that standpoint.
Yeah, we are talking, oh man, that is hilarious. That is a throwback right there. We are talking about HP, ticker symbol HPQ. The company announced a 10% dividend increase out of nowhere. And what really caught me off by surprise with this was, let alone that they have been increasing their dividend, but I didn't realize that they've been increasing their dividend for so many consecutive years. There was a lot of negative press about HP over the years and their products. I just out of my mind entirely.
And on top of that, they were battling with Xerox on the right price because they were actually in the midst of getting acquired. However, here they come returning cash back to their shareholders with the dividend increase. And actually at one point last year, I almost bought stock in HPQ. I'm not even lying. I've been watching them. I didn't even tell you about it.
You did not.
But I was like, because, they got a very solid dividend metrics. The yield's, the 3.5% to 4%.
Very strong.
Not a bad balance sheet, but man, definitely a surprise here with the 10% dividend increase.
But maybe this will be a good stock analysis video for later on in the month too, as we continue to try and find those undervalued dividend stocks to add. Yeah. So maybe Lanny can come back in 2020 or 21 and fulfill that position that you were thinking about. So dividend stock number 3 is coming back. Let's go back to that Dividend Aristocrats listing. Lanny, who is this third company?
This third company you may not have heard of. And the ticker symbol is BDX. And the name of this company is Becton Dickinson. Now again, a company that you may not have heard of, but they are a dividend aristocrat, increasing that dividend for 25 plus years nonstop. And November 2020 was also nonstop for this company because they did what?
They announced a nice 5.1% dividend increase, which is right in line with their 5-year average dividend growth rate of 5.7%. So nobody says every dividend stock has to be a name brand. You don't need the big times. Not every company is going to be Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, 3M, and some of the major companies on your aristocrat list. Sometimes you need those companies behind the scenes that just produce solid income, solid cash flow, and increase that dividend for your portfolio.
Now again, this was right in line with their dividend growth rate average, which is around 5 to 6%. With that dividend growth of 5%, it was right there. Their dividend yield isn't the highest at just over 1.4%. So kind of, yields in line with the S&P 500. However, it's nice to see that another dividend increase happened. Shareholders received an increase in their dividend income. And again, on the journey to financial freedom, that is what you want to see. Consistent dividend growth. And that's what BDX brings to the table. Bert, I got to ask you one thing. Hey, Bert, get the table.
Testify. All right, let's get that table out here. Let's set that up. Get to the top rope here because we got dividend stock number 4 for you with the dividend news. We're going to go right to the asset management sector and talk about Eaton Vance, ticker symbol EV, and their major dividend news from last week.
Now again, we've been talking a lot about asset management firms, as you saw on the 8 dividend stocks to produce a dividend increase this upcoming month with Franklin Resources. Eaton Vance, another asset management firm, didn't come out with a dividend increase this past week, but they wanted to copy Costco and give out that special dividend to you, the shareholders, as a one-time.
Yeah, and this is a really cool trend that you'll see with some of the asset management companies. You may not see the largest annual dividend increase, but every 2 to 4 years, some of them will pay you a nice large one-time special dividend. So you factor in that scheduled typical dividend increases with the one-time pop. It can be a really nice value for investors, and it's a different, unique way to increase your dividend income, but it's a nice way as well.
So Eaton Vance, ticker symbol EV, came in with a nice special dividend for the asset management firm. What's wild is this one-time special dividend is going to cost them in capital over $400 million.
Oh, get the printer press out because that is a lot of money there in the form of a special dividend.
And actually, what is it in the terms of the yield right there on the stock price?
Yeah, so if you take their $4.25 special dividend that was announced and divided by their stock price of $68.72 at the time we're filming this video, it's the equivalent of a 6.2% yield right there on that one-time special dividend. So again, think about that payout. You may not get large dividend increases along the way, but when you're getting a one-time 6% yield payment on the special dividend, that is huge.
So that was 4 dividend stocks that produced great dividend news for shareholders this past week. I know maybe it wasn't the most exciting with Nike, with the TJ Maxx. However, we felt these 4 were still very relevant to the dividend investing community. Again, we had Hormel,
HP, you have Becton Dickinson, and Eaton Vance. And again, not every dividend company has to be exciting. We focus mostly on seeing that income grow.
The proof is in the pudding, baby. We keep it simple. Remember, women lie, men lie, but numbers don't.
So please give us a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe. We appreciate every subscriber and thank you for all your support as we continue to grow our YouTube channel. We are getting up there on subscribers, and thank you, and help us get to our next milestone.
If there was other dividend news that we missed over the last week of November, let us know in the comments below so that everybody gets to enjoy and see, the news that came out last week. Again, this is Bert and Laney from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.